single thing in this world isn't in the process of becoming something else. Likewise, you never look back. If you gotta kill, kill. If you gotta burn it all to the ground, then let it burn.
The pursuit of comfort in the face of injustice is also a vice, a weapon. We can weaponize our feelings, elevating them, somehow making them equal to injustices enacted on our behalf. Injustice that we benefit from can look like oppression upon us when we are indicted by those who are harmed by our policies and violence. We cannot shield ourselves from the ramifications of such acts. We are not innocent. We are sometimes complicit by just being adjacent to a familiar party. And it can feel so unfair. But when we have the institutions and the means to oppress and employ them when indicted by our actions, we create a self-realizing trauma that will only end when we hold ourselves accountable or are held accountable. Life is hours that mean nothing and seconds that mean everything. What if the zephyr that fills your lungs isn't something that matters and the heart in your chest will beat for a million senilities? Every parasympathetic, sympathetic calculation is driven by computation that is not of your own. How does that inform your life? A chance to never die. And what happens to an individual that realizes this not to be true instanter? That something greater than you unwrites the illusion of control. This is where quixotic ideals fade. It undresses any sense of humanity. What will one do to retain such an illusion? You are not afraid of death, you're afraid of mortality. Gods can die, but someone who can kill a god, that must be defied. We are left trying to make a love song out of the chains of despair, selling parts of us in the promise of maybe being free. We are cornered by oaths they were never going to keep. They say there are no paragons, then what is divinity? We are all written into a corner. She, him, they all want to be more. We seek consensus. Cells use other cells to see the world they are trapped in. We are chasing one more meaningful memory. It's easier to cut away the pieces that make us human than to pull the devils from the sky and push against the lines they craft to keep us from being undefinable. Soliloquies become silhouettes that dance to the promises of greed. What will you buy to actually breathe? Cyberpunk 2077 is a confluence of contradictions exposing what we are told to buy to actually be alive.
Where's Rebel Johnny? Seem to have lost him.
Well, I found him. He's inside that guy. He's the real rebel.
Make up your mind. Which is it, Nutjob or Messiah?
He's fucked in the head. The world's fucked in the head, and you're fucked in the head because my fucked up head is inside it. Guess if you want to save the world, that's the first step. Get fucked in the head.
Live in the afterlife? Meaning I'm talking to his animated epitaph?
I don't give it an ounce of thought. Surprise. To me, I'm just that. Me. No netherworld, no happy wonder world, just duped digital psyches.
Weird as fuck today. Just kind of unreal. But reality beckons. Come on.
So you may be asking, where the hell am I going? So I talked recently about Johnny Silverhand as a consciousness inside of our head. I shared that So Me doesn't love you with my girlfriend, and she said, well, yeah, but isn't there a better argument for why she's a problematic character? So that's what I devised at the very beginning when I talked about we can misunderstand the indictment against us. Sometimes we are guilty by association with certain institutions And because of our work with those institutions, depending on what they are, we can cause great harm and actually get ourselves into a situation where we've been utterly compromised. But what shocked me the most is because Johnny had always said that he wasn't more than what he was, that there wasn't some soul inside of Johnny Silverhand. However, that doesn't seem to be true because once I allowed Soul Me to pass away, he reacted so viscerally. It was almost esoteric, as if he was feeling something that I couldn't realize, something personal, independent of me. Does Johnny Silverhand have a soul? Does he have an inner voice? How much of what V does is actually her doing? I mean, think about it. A lot of times I say that my actions is how my consciousness interacts with the world. That inner voice in your head, for those who have an inner voice, it can often seem like a negotiation with taking major life actions or pedantic musings. And I'm not speaking of the subconscious, that part of you that is much more calculating, less parasympathetic. I'm talking about that inner voice that says, not one more cookie. You probably should be sleeping. What does this mean philosophically? I spend a lot of time deconstructing problems and concepts, values, religion, beliefs. I often write in my mind collectively with my inner voice before it's expressed in media or even written down. Does Johnny have that? I mean, think about it. Johnny lived in a void. I have no idea what that experience was like. Then suddenly he slotted into your head, aware of himself. His consciousness is alive again and experiencing your present and corrupting your past. This is like the most intimate of relationships. Honestly, does V still have her own consciousness? Or did he overwrite her?
You saw all this coming from the start. You and your unrivaled rocker boy's intuition.
Figured that was obvious. Didn't think it needed stating. Some stories don't get a happy ending before the credits roll, leaving questions you're never gonna find the answers to. Questions you'll lug around till the day you croak.
Sounds about right.
Better believe it.
Can turn into a self-fulfilling prophecy, you know. Dwelling on past mistakes.
How do you mean?
You try so hard to run away from them, you forget you're going around in a neat little circle, heading for a head-on.
And fucking bam.
Exactly.
One way or another, shit always ends up fucked. First Saburo, then Yorinobu, now Myers. Got a knack for getting in dangerous peeps' ways, you know? For real, though. How's it feel, you know, with all that's gone down?
Did what Somi asked me to do. Why? On call, you think?
With you on the decision itself, but still ain't gonna be me struggling to sleep, thinking maybe there was some way to save the chick.
Not helping, Johnny.
Not making your life any easier, I know. But thinking about Songbird, about Reed, finally starting to see why I did all the shit I did. Why I went AWOL during the war, then set off on the warpath against Arasaka. Why I called Carrie a fucking pussy so many times. Think finally I understand why I couldn't bring myself to trust Reed. 'Cause I know his type. Idealist. Like me. Who can't see that what he believes in will devour everyone he cares about. Just one thing sets us apart. Unlike me, he saw his shit through to the end. Price be damned. There. Fucking said it.
Thought you and Reed had a lot in common. Except when it comes to being blinded by ideals, well, can skin that cat a dozen different ways. He did everything he could to save her. That's why he'll eventually accept her being gone. Whereas you...
Guess I was never chasing ideals. Not really. Life. That's what I was running from.
And? Still running?
Does it matter? I'm still breathing. Sort of. Just don't know what the fuck for.
Know what I think? Sometimes you're better off not knowing.
Saying the truth don't always set us free. Ignorance can be bliss. Maybe. Or maybe it's just time to grow the fuck up.
One of the coolest things about Cyberpunk 2077 is watching the transformation of Johnny Silverhands. Johnny Silverhand has a soul, and watching him realize that he's alive is a satisfying end to Cyberpunk 2077. It was affirmed through watching him struggle with Somi's demise, but it was realized when he says V's name for the first time.
Guess you're V, is that right? If I may, it's an honor to meet the woman who rescued the president of the NUSA.
Where are we going?
An agency clinic in Langley. Got our best specialist stationed there.
Great. Thanks. Where's Reed? Didn't make the trip with you?
He got held up on assignment. Not to worry, you're in good hands. Come on inside. Doc Lozano will evaluate your condition, make sure you're stable.
Expecting nothing but the NUS's finest, Mr. Weiss.
Lozano, pleasure. I'll be among those operating on you. Let's start with a quick nervous system scan. You mind giving me your personal link?
Hope there's enough of those tatters left to scan.
The damage is apparent, but looks fixable.
Was thinking. Want to get one last look at Night City? That beautiful old bitch. What do you say?
I want to bid the city goodbye. Mind opening the door?
Don't worry, you'll be back here in no time.
Can never be too sure. Just open it.
There it is. Night City. At your feet. Was it always that small? Or did you just get too big for it?
Really, Johnny, don't need to do this. Don't deserve to have you by my side.
When has telling me what to do ever worked, huh? It's okay, V. You're allowed to be a little proud of yourself.
So, no hard feelings. No, this ain't the outcome you hoped for.
Hoped for a lot of things in my time. And people I cared about got hurt. Don't need that happening again. Just glad you'll pull through. And that I got the chance to call you my friend.
This isn't okay, Johnny. I'm basically killing you.
Come on, we knew it'd end this way. It was either you or me. When all is said and done, it's your body.
I don't want you to die.
It's okay. I know. Better this way, though.
Wonder how things would have turned out if we'd never met.
First, bullet to the brain would have ended you on the spot. Second, would have never survived the rest without my expert advice.
No, you're kidding, but it's actually true. He saved me.
Relic was your life support, but what saved you was courage, the will to survive. Us meeting? Coincidence. Shit we went through together, though. That's what counts.
I've got readings spiking. Strong emotions. Let's do this. We want your brain burden-free. Never know how stress might affect it.
Think this is it, kiddo.
Yes. So,
Promise me one thing, will you?
I promise. No idea what, but I promise.
Not asking you to never give up. Sometimes, you gotta let go. Just don't let anyone change who you are, okay?
Johnny,
Good night, Valerie. Today was a good day.